The camera is, and as you can hear from my nasal tone, still a little cold. My guess 30 days could have been longer. Anyway, you know what is to be done. You come here, please come say hi. So I know you've joined. You've joined the live stream. I hope you can hear me nice and proper. If you're able to hear me nice and proper, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on which part of the world you're from. Hi. You have caught me at one of those times when Kaiben making and chatting. So it's Kaiben making and chatting simultaneously happening, which is pretty good thing. As you can tone. Oh, hectic. Last 2 days, 3 days, right? I've been out of action for 3 days. Madness. So why I felt sick? We'll come to the analysis. Over analysis. Absolutely over top analysis. We'll come to that. Who's this? Aisha. Do you know dragonflies? They can fly backwards. Who's here? Dude, what's up, bro? Sorry, Bran. I felt sick, bro. I got hit by a flu. So it's been in the city. As you can make out, I don't know if you can catch it on my nasal tone. I've got this gorgeous sneak cat thing on. I I don't know where it came from, but I do know that my immunity took a hit. Now, what happened? We'll talk about the case study in a bit. First, let me put this back. I need to assemble my machine switches, and I will do a 30-minute live stream with you. After which, I shall start making the carbon. Sorry, bro. I was not out of action, but deliberately, I just couldn't hold myself. How I felt, but you must hear this. I mean, I'm going to do a little bit more research on this before I can come to a confirmed analysis of why exactly after so many days. Yeah, 300, more than 300 odd days. I was fit as a fiddle, and all of a sudden, disaster struck. We'll discuss that. Now, here's what's happening. I don't know if you can see me. Can you hear me well? I hope you can hear me well. So, yeah, you see that? That poster, that's the bottle, that's the Kaiben bottle. Yeah, this is the first poster we had, and our producer thought that this is a good thing to do. How are you? What's happening with you? I will do a little bit more research on this before I'll come to a conclusion. But here's what's the data that happened. Uh, we start at day zero. If today is day four, morning, I've been gym, and if I remember correctly, I hadn't eaten anything till 2 p.m. Yeah, I was hungry, and I began the painting job. Now, what I need to read more about is whether turpentine um, does it lead to a drop in immunity. My guess is it does, because that evening, second evening, day one evening, I was smack. I was down with fever, phlegm, congestion. Fever kept stayed for 2 days. Yesterday evening was the last bout of fever. Today morning, I'm fine. I'm gonna have. Okay, you're saying audio and visual, you're not seeing. My computer, my phone could have taken a little beating. Tell me if this is working better now. Sorry about this, man. This is not my regular setup. This is a brand new. This is not a brand new. It's a single camera thing, so it's just a phone. Tell me this is improved though. Hold on. I think specs are also reflecting a lot, so you're not able to see me. Better spectacles. Only if I can find them. I can find them. My better spectacles. It's like the better specs. The better you can see better, feel better, know better. All right. Audio is delayed. You're saying the audio is behind time, is it? There is no sync between audio and visuals, is it? Let me do this. Let me try switching it off. So this is a new microphone I got. I don't know if this is working now. Is this better? So it was awful. Last 2 days, flu is awful, man. It's the and I remember growing up as a kid also. These flus were always quite unpredictable. You don't really know what's going to come out of it. So last stream was a bit girly, I would say, where I showed you those. Were you there, Brian? Were you? I told you I've got the smelly cat thing going on from my nasal tone. It's a good time to record some vocals. Not that it'll matter. I mean, you heard that fall? Action. Whoa. Something seems to have come out of it. Kind of taken a broken or something. The clip has come out and it's gone somewhere else. Wow. So much action today, man. Oh, it's not come out. It's like, look at this. The clip was on me, and I, whenever somebody asks me, why do you go live? I tell them this is why I go live. Every time something new will happen. Yeah, well. Okay. So the last stream was a little girly. Me sharing all, oversharing, I would say. Planes and everything. I mean, a magician is not going to be asking you, should he show you your next magic trick? I mean, of course you should. But so we'll start with Carl Gustav Jung. Have you heard of this guy? Brian, have you heard of Carl Gustav Jung? This dude, he was actually well, he was many things, but one of the things he was very profound in having figured out that there are 4 stages to a birth of a woman in a man's psyche. Hey, hold on. This rabbit hole really goes deep. So what's happening is there are 4 types of women who take birth in a man's psyche. It's called anima and animus. Anima is the birth of the men in the woman's psyche, and animus is the birth. Oh no, I think anima is the birth of the female, and animus is the birth of the male. Anyways, so Carl Gustav Jung brought this theory out, and to be honest, I had read about it, I heard about it, and I wasn't quite. I'm not sure. What do you mean neo-Freudian? I've heard of the word neo-Freudian. I also heard of this. Okay, I'll tell you. I don't know what neo-Freudian means. Sorry. What does that mean? But yeah, he's a writer. He's written a lot of books around this topic of the male, female, the gender wars. I mean, it is quite a hot social topic. It's always been part of every capitalistic economy discussion. Everybody's trying to always leverage it in some way or the other. But I really understood its true meaning after I started doing farming. Because, so you know about the mother father thing that I constantly talk about? Oh, so Freud's students are called neo Freudians. As in neo-Freudians and smaller Freuds, or I've never read anything from Freud, by the way. Mm. I'm not a person who really reads philosophy. Carl Gustav Jung happened to come into my radar because of this anime. And now that I think about it, in the past, I mean, this was obviously universe planting this for me to know in some sense, but I never really understood. And I used to always think about this gender wars thing in a very lateral sense. My father spent his time in the forces. He was a soldier. There are very few women soldiers, not because they can't do it, but because you don't use your precious, you don't use food as barriers. Those gunny bags that you put to receive enemy bullets, you don't fill them up with wheat, you fill them up with sand. Women are precious, they bear children, so you don't send them to the battlefield. Now, I don't mean to be sexist, appreciate what I'm saying, but I was not quite into the gender wars. When I entered my engineering college, in a batch of 84 kids, there were six women. Yeah, crazy ratio, no? We were still better off. The mechanical guys, mechanical engineering boys, there were 120 mechanical engineers for one girl in their class. And that's awful. Which brings me to this whole job of making carbon twice a week. Tuesdays and Fridays, I make this product. It's not fair to call it a product. It's more of food. I make this food twice a week. And today has been one of those days where it got delayed because Fridays I do pressings on Fridays. This last Friday's pressing got delayed. I'm doing it today on Sunday. And obviously everybody's so I'll press again on Tuesday. Making of this requires diligence, which may be beyond the main. Maybe. Um, you know this, right? Science approves women are better at close knit quarters. They're biologically better to become fighter pilots. Mentally may not be, that's why they don't give them that job. But they don't give them that job. It's not just in one air force, it's across the world. The male is preferred. I don't know why, and I don't want to argue about that. But it is what it is. The Indian forces just got their first batch of women cadets passing out of what's called the National Defense Academy in 2025. That's not late. I would say it's pretty much on time. Especially when some leaders are calling other countries shithole countries. I'm like, bro, take it easy. I don't blame him. I read somewhere there are more Somalians now in Minnesota than they are in Somalia. So I can imagine. I mean, and immigrants don't really help a city. I mean, they can if they want to, but there's a big. I'm reading a fascinating book right now. Right? It's opening up a whole new dimension to my understanding of how the world works. Here's what's the gist of it. I've still not finished it, and I think I've just started it. It's called The Burning Earth. Amrit, that's the name. It's an Indian who written this book, and it's about the last 500 years of humanity, okay, and how that has led us to here. To give you an example, one of what he says about which is fascinating. All the forests between China and Russia in that Siberian area today that we see, they weren't there 300 years ago. It, there was nothing. The whole landscape of China and Russia has changed in just 300 years, and that's because the reason they traced it down to is because see documentation is pretty new. We've not done enough documentation, so not everybody knows everything. And let's face it, what we know is coming down through stories, and some of them are is folk tales. And some so anyways, Russian Tsar, he his women loved this fur. It's so much that they carried it everywhere. Everybody fell in love with it. The world wanted it. They hunted down an animal, took it to extinction. All of this happened within 15 to 20 years. That's pretty cool. But this animal that they hunted to extinction was responsible for keeping in check a population of birds which exceeded over 200 birds or something like this. It was a big number. And what these birds were doing were carrying seeds. So because their population exploded, the seeds of these trees, they started traveling 200, 300, 400 kilometers, and it just kept bouncing off. So the vegetation of the entire land changed, and therefore famines came. So, and that's how potato came to China. Are you? I mean, I'm just reading this book, and I'm like, my God, this turbulence that. Um, what's that guy's name, bro? He wrote that book called. By the way, who is here? Behemoth, Demon Behemoth. What's up, bro? Hi. The book is called "World is Flat." He had written about this when Osama bin Laden was around, and he'd written about how the world will be offset. You remember that book? I don't know if you read it. Great book to read. Great introspection now. And he predicted this world going to be in this mess. But he has written about this fabric nature, but he didn't compare it to 500 years. He just wrote about the last in this year, in this 100 years, 1900s. If you listen to Jordan Peterson, he has ideas which are kind of in cocooned within these walls of how men and women operate. And many of them, many people call him sexist, they call him gender biased, they call him big words. But I think there is a gap. The gap is this, that you can't change your genders. It's a very unfortunate part of, maybe it's fortunate, not fortunate, I don't want to compare. But if you're born an apple, you're born an apple. Play with your cards. You can't really go out and say, hey, listen, no, I'm not okay with that. I want to now be an orange. I'll please, can I be a banana? No, no, all that doesn't work. Can you smell my nasal tone? Yeah, that's the amazing nasal. Oh yeah, I had a horrible. I think I had over 2 kilograms of mucus stuck up my nose. So my head and all was bursting. It was bad. I still am not through it, but I think I don't have any fever, so I'm good. In fact, I was hoping I will get a chance to harvest the dill. How boy turn into a girl nowadays? Boy turn into a girl nowadays. I think there is a surgical procedure. If I'm not wrong, I've seen an animation of it. Something my mind is cooking up, memory is making. I'm trying to remember. They chop it off, they fold, cut, slice, fold it inwards. Something like that they do. And they create a vulva and an opening. And I don't know why would a boy want to become a girl. Each one to their own. Everybody has their own problems. But wanting to let go of your apples, I can understand why a woman would want to be a man because she feels that she's not getting her place in the world, um, to kind of build what she wants. But for a dude to try to become a gal, hey man, you're still going to be hairy and stinky, and you'll be balding by the time you're 40, 45, and you're always going to be belching, and you'll be stinky, you'll be hairy. How the hell wants you? So, anyways. Who is the behemoth? I love you, behemoth demon. Sorry, I think my internet is kind of going in and out. So that's the update here. I think I will read more about it, and if it works out, I will share some information about it. I think turpentine, that's the oil. It's an oil that comes out from the carbon in the earth, and it's if you inhale it, it causes you a very repulsive thing. Have you noticed it causes you nausea, and sometimes you can get a headache. And now what's happening is these fumes are causing something. What are they causing? They don't get absorbed, do they? I don't know whether they get absorbed through the blood brain barrier inside and they go inside the brain. I will read more about it. But I do know that these turpentine, these is it possible to turn testosterone into estrogen? Okay. Did you know this that all of us have both of them? I don't think you knew this, yeah? No, no, no. Yeah. That's why little boys and girls, when they are small, they have similar voice and talk and everything because they are matching. When you hit an adolescence stage, one of them rises up, but neither of them. It's not a 100 and 0 scale. There's no. That's not how it works. It's. He asked if I'd give my opinion, but I'd get cancelled. No, I know what you're saying, bro. Brian, this is a big problem, and I don't think transgenderism in sports, yeah, it's so unfair. Why does a dude want to compete with a woman? What the hell are you trying to do? You're that desperate for a medal. Really? Is that how bad it has become? Did you do sport because you wanted to do it, or you did sport because someone in your family told you that, hey, listen, if you do sport, you better get a medal, and then we will call you the king of the world? And that became your motto in your life. How stupid is this? This transgenderism is a very, very confused idea. In fact, I'm telling you this right now from a nature's point of view. There is something wrong about it. So if you are mutated for any reason, a child is mutated. The Spartans used to discard the child. That was their way of solving the problem. As a farmer, I will tell you this: I do culling. It's not an unnatural thing to do. I do it frequently, but I can't tell a parent to follow the same rule of thumb. And Mahabharata has a story. The story of Mahabharata, I always bring Mahabharata back into it because it's like the most genius story ever. There is nothing that's happening in the world today that is not part of the Mahabharata story. You should read it, Brian, if you've not read it already. I told you, check that Kurukshetra, the show on Netflix. You'll love it. Especially for those of us who have read Mahabharata and heard about Mahabharata in a very, very white and black checkered thing where this is right, that's wrong, this is right, that's wrong. There are so many more perspectives to the whole thing. Let me give you what perspective really means. Behemoth, this is for you. Perspective. What is the question you're asking is very relevant, right? How man becomes woman? How does this transformation happen? Perspective is this: there is there is a plant, there is a deer, and there is a lion. Now, for the plant, the lion is its savior. This is called perspective. I am demon. If I read Mahabharata, Lucifer banish me. Nothing will happen to you, bro. You are expecting too much. You will be quite surprised. If you throw a rock in the ocean, nothing happens. You might want the ocean to surge and upheaval. No, I threw a rock. The ocean is like next. The universe revolves. The ocean works on the ocean's laws. So work to become the ocean. That might be a easier option. See, if you have to tell everybody that you're a demon, you're not a demon. Keep this in mind. The magic of a demon. That's which movie is this? Yeah, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled off was convincing the world that he doesn't exist. I, what is the name of that movie, man? These movies are crazy. Now that I always say this to everybody: storytellers have crafted humanity, and as Sudhir Pichai has recently said, and he's on point. AI is a processor. It's a shredder, and society and its principles are going to get shredded through it. It's going to happen in the next 5 to 7, 10 years. This is the most difficult time for a parent, most demanding. And if you are planning to become a parent, I have no advice. I can't even begin. I mean, my kids, I eat them. So I am the demon. But if it's worth pausing and reflecting on this, that in the next 5 to 10 years, and he's right, AI is it's like everything else, man. It's a double-edged sword. You use it to your advantage or disadvantage. That's up to you. And I don't think you have a choice. Many people don't have a choice. Listen to this. I love you too, Behemoth. You're so cute. Thank you so much for giving me your time and attention, bro. I truly admire it. In good time. You have to believe. Okay. Um, no. I don't think I should talk about philosophy and all that. I was going to give you an example, but I think at 12:30 has happened. My 30 minutes are over, and I need to start making the Kaiben. It's going to take 2.5, 3 hours to finish this pressing of this entire volume today, and I have to pay attention to it. So I will maybe take your leave today, and I will be back in this coming whole week. We've got great solids coming up, great new stuff coming up, and I've got surprises lined up for you. Stay in touch, stay in tune, and get your friends. I want to have more conversations. We need, see, I'll tell you what, that's what I was trying to tell you on perspective. The greatest solutions to problems come from people who have had different perspectives. It's like a colorful wheel, colorful rainbow. It's a plate with multiple foods. That's the flavor of life. I was not so. They don't teach this in school. They can't. The teacher has to know about this to teach you. And not every teacher is vested in this journey of trying to find the missing link, the knowledge, right? Get yourself Devdutt Patnaik's new book. I should start bloody charging for this. It's called Yoga. Amazing. He writes really well. Devdutt Patnaik. Brian, this is for you. Devdutt, Devdutt. Devdutt Patnaik. Pattanaik. You can just ping me. I'll ping you back and let you know. And he was, I will. Demon friends, please bring. In fact, bring your demon friends. We'll have a video chat. I'm very keen to bring you on onto the video chat. Like you will join me on this video stream with one of your faces, demon faces. Its idea is to ask you if you have an answer. I want to hear your answer because the questions everybody knows. Why is this not happening? Why is that not? We are all everybody, and the best is social media is filled with people who are asking the same question again and again. Bro, we know your question. I asked this question. I already know this question. Why don't you have an answer? Well, I can't think of the answer. Then why are you asking the question? Well, I need to put some noise out there and nobody's listening to me. So that's why I'm asking the same question that everybody else is asking. Don't make noise. That itself is helpful. I think you understand what I'm saying. Keep your hands off the horn. I'll see you again tomorrow 12:30. And hopefully, if things work out, we will get to the dill on top. See you. Bye.